Tom Holland confirms Back to the Future remake talks have happened. This is heavy. That is the headline on today's MB Movie News.
Yes, great Scott, Stephen, and all that jazz. This is not good news, is it? Let's be honest. My one saving grace with this, Stephen, is of course that when you read the article, it becomes clear that obviously Tom Holland is playing it off in a humorous way. He has said that there has been talks about a potential remake, but he pays a great deal of tribute to obviously the original Back to the Future movie. Try to get the quote here. He says he'd be lying if he says that conversations hadn't been happening in the past, but it's such a perfect movie, slightly paraphrasing here, that it'd be very unlikely that one could be made better than also the original. And I completely agree.
Yeah.
We have spoke about this before, no later than I believe last week or perhaps the week before, when Bob Gale came out and spoke about there never being a Back to the Future 4 being made. Now technically it isn't lying if we get a remake, because it isn't Back to the Future 4. It's completely different. Don't want to see it though. Crispin Glover ain't there, Michael J. Fox ain't there, Leah Thompson ain't there, Christopher Lloyd ain't there. What's the point?
No. Great
Scott, no.
One of the things, John, listen, Hollywood can't help themselves when it comes to successful franchises, successful films. They have to, put their hand in, somewhere and dabble with successful films, and never works. Works. I don't know what else to say. It never works. Another thing when I read this was why? What is the point? Tom Holland is a very talented guy. I could see him playing Marty McFly, no doubt about it. I could see Robert Downey Jr. playing Doc Brown, no doubt about it. Both of them are well capable of it. But what would be the point?
Well, Stephen, it came from a deep fake video. I've actually not seen it. I recall you showing.
It's very good, John.
Yeah, I've seen the image.
Very good, And as I said, love Tom Holland, like Robert Downey Jr. I wouldn't go as far as loving him, but Marty McFly, Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown. It's the way it's always going to be. And as I mentioned last week, John, apart from obviously the year relevance in those films, these films haven't dated at all. And you're talking about a film, the second part, which was filmed in 1989. Try to predict what 2015 would be like. Got some of it right, got a lot of it wrong, but it was taken in good humour. Yeah. And they didn't
really for those hoverboards.
They didn't really get hung up about it either. They moved on. It was just really a location for the story to carry forward because of the way the first one ended. They had to come up with something because they weren't planning, obviously, doing sequels, etc. And Robert Zemeckis handled it very well. Bob Gale writing it handled it very well as well. And I just think some things should just be left alone. On the other hand, you did mention Bob Gale said there would never be a Back to the Future 4. And as you said, this isn't a continuation of that story. It would be a remake or a reboot. I don't know what the difference is in this case, but it
could be a quasi-sequel set in the same universe, but an alternate universe. We go all multiverse with different versions of the characters. Maybe it can all bleed into the original. Maybe we can get really convoluted with it. Bring in these different versions of Doc Emmett Brown. The
funny thing is, John, I don't, bypassing Dolittle, I don't think Robert Downey Jr. needs this. No. Tom Holland certainly doesn't need it. There's nothing there to say, this is a film that's going to catapult me into superstardom, like it did Michael J. Fox to an extent. He was a TV actor, did that dodgy TV film Teen Wolf prior to it. But
concurrently with Back
Tom
to the Future.
Holland's at a place just now that he doesn't really need to make a name for himself, and Robert Downey Jr. certainly doesn't.
Yeah, who was the guy, Stephen, who was originally Marty McFly? Was it Eric Stoltz?
Eric Stoltz,
yeah. He was obviously get cut out. So you're right, they don't need it. No. He's playing it off as a joke, Rose. I did say, I think it's all tongue-in-cheek. Obviously, he says here that he would love to do a remake of that actual scene that they did the deepfake based on. That he would get Robert Downey Jr. to pay for it out of his own pocket. He's got lots of money, he says. I would do it for my fee and then we could remake that scene. I have to tell you, I'd actually quite like to see them try and remake just a little sliver of the movie. See if they could try and capture some of the magic with those two doing like almost an impersonation of the classic characters. I'd be up for that. I'd like to see a little advert length snippet out of the movie with these two guys playing it.
Yeah.
As you did say, great chemistry between these two. They do seem to get on well. You love one, you kind of like the other. I love the two of them. I love Robert Downey Jr. I love the guy's story, what he's came from. Just a rags to riches, well, riches to rags to riches.
Yeah.
Just a great, seems a decent guy off screen, but I can't picture him as Emmett Brown. I'm sorry, it's Christopher Lloyd. He is Emmett Brown. It's just synonymous with these actors. You can't redo it, and as you did say previously there, it never works when they try to do these remakes. They just can't seem to capture the magic of the original movie. They've seen it with Halloween, they try to do it with Terminator, recapture the magic of the first two. It never seems to work. Says it time and again when we speak about this. I think we spoke about it 2, maybe 3 times before in the old days in the podcast audio and now on video. You can never recapture the magic of that era.
No.
People were different back then. Younger generations were different, wired differently, more innocent, more pure. So they approach these movies differently. The filmmaking process was different. People are more cynical now, and you cannot remake a classic. Stephen, this is one of the most perfect movies ever made. He does say that, but the actual trilogy, it's almost like a perfect trilogy. Some people would say the third one is the sort of chink in the armour. It dips a little, but I still love it.
Yeah, it's still a good film. I actually watched it today, John, which is, as this was recording, it was on Sunday. And, you know, it's just... it just wraps up the story so well, you know, it's such a contrast to the second one, which was more about the technology and, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. The third one was more organic, you know, and obviously the predicament of not having fuel and stuff like that, but it was just it was a good attempt at a western, you know, in the sci-fi sort of genre. And I mean, Tom Holland's right. It's probably the first one is the most perfect film you'll get, and it's one of these ones. I still can't decide what genre it sits in. I know, obviously, on our website we've got to put it into a genre.
Sci-fi,
and it's got the comedy in there. It's got the romance in there, you know, and it's got the adventure. It's got the sci-fi. You know, it's a mixed bag of them all, and they handle all the genres so well. You know, just the relationship between, you know, Marty and George, Marty and Doc, George and Lorraine, Marty and Lorraine. You know, there are all these different sort of angles they're coming from. And you're right, you know, when you look at that collection of actors from back then when they were shooting this 1984, Christopher Lloyd was well known, obviously, for his role in Taxi. Michael J. Fox, known for his role in Family Ties. Leah Thompson, Tom Wilson, Crispin Glover, not so much. I think they did a lot of TV work. Leah Thompson did a few 80s films prior to Back to the Future, but, you know, I wouldn't say any of them were exactly big names at that point. Christopher Lloyd probably at that point was the biggest name, but it was like lightning in a bottle, you know. And I just think
it's like Star Wars.
Yeah, I just
unknown actors
exactly
come together.
And I think there's something about putting well-known faces into a reboot doesn't sit well with me either. You know, like Ghostbusters from 2016. You know, most of the actors that were in that remake were already well known, and I don't like that. You know, that's one of the things I always like about films that have got lightning in a bottle. The original Ghostbusters was mostly your Saturday Night Live guys, right? Back to the Future, very unknown. Star Wars, as you said, very unknown. And there's something likeable about that approach. You know, it's very innocent and naive. You know, that these actors can be thrown into this film that no one really gives a hope in hell that it's going to succeed. Let's be honest, Back to the Future was rejected time and time again. Disney being one of the biggest culprits because of the mother-son thing going on in there. And I understand that at the time. But as you said, John, we're living in a different period now where Disney would chop your hands off for this kind of a script now, you know.
But who is it that actually makes these movies originally? Was it Fox?
It was Universal. Well, it's in there, the Universal backlog was most of the filming was done as well.
I was just intrigued in case it could actually have fell into the hands of Disney, and then that would have been an interesting little predicament to see whether they would have maybe released a remake, because they love to make remakes, do Disney. You know, if they'd bought over Universal, this would be happening already. Look, Stephen, there is a little interconnected topic. It's a poster that's been made, fan poster.
It's good.
They do look the part. I have to say, Tom Holland does look good in that. What was it they used to call that? A life preserver? I think the guy calls it when he walks into the diner.
Yeah.
Also, it's a body warmer, as you did say.
Yeah, the
And
dock, yeah.
Yeah, the dock with a life preserver. And then also you've got Robert Downey Jr. rocking that white, magnificent flowing hair that Christopher Lloyd had. And that also Hawaiian
Did you ever see
shirt.
the Mark Hamill, Alec Guinness Photoshop one they did? It was almost perfect as well.
Yeah.
But I like this, John. I think it's very
That's where it should
inventive,
end on.
and I think Tom Holland looks the part as well. He looks just
He's youthful.
yeah, and he's got that kind of all American, sort of boy next door look.
It's the stature as well, though, Steve.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work. There's just something about Doc being this slightly bigger, grown up version. Martin McFly was sort of, how would you call it, bullheaded. I don't know if that's the correct term. But he had a certain attitude. He still had a lot of learning to do, the character.
Yeah.
So he was almost like this guiding figure throughout the story. That just wouldn't work, I don't think. Well, it would in terms of the actors, but the size wouldn't work. Tom Holland's about 5'7".
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. isn't tall enough to play
John, it
Brown.
wouldn't surprise me. We're talking about, obviously generations now would look at the Marty-Doc relationship as a bit creepy as well,
Yeah.
Why is this old guy hanging about with his kid,
Yeah.
And I don't,
cynical.
I don't get that, there's something.
Jimmy Savile.
Yeah, same hair, but I think there's something, there's something very misplaced with that kind of logic, I always felt that the relationship between Marty and Doc was one of the most beautiful relationships you'll see, in any film, and there's some touching moments in that film as well, when Marty's wanting to tell him what happens to him in the future, and he just can't do it. It's just something about that relationship, that hasn't been matched since. That's why I don't think it's worth even trying to remake this film.
Absolutely not.
Even with the relationship and the chemistry between Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr.
No,
I still don't think it's necessary.
No, because you can't match it, Stephen. You just cannot match it. It's an absolute classic from a bygone era, much like Star Wars. Combination of unknown actors just doing new things, pioneering with technology. You can't do it, and you can't bring in unknown actors now because there's no real such thing with the age of social media and instant gratification. Everyone really.
Hollywood and most studios nowadays wouldn't take the chance now, John. No. It's a different industry now.
Sadly, it is, Stephen. But look, hopefully it ain't going to happen. And if it does, I'll not be watching it anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
No.
But we'll move on that note because I ain't got much more to add. I think we've just about exhausted that one to a distinctly different topic. This one's coming in from Screen Rant. It's all about Invisible Man director signing a movie and TV deal with Blumhouse. Yeah. Now, this is obviously Lee Wannell. He's worked with Blumhouse before. He actually directed Upgrade from a couple of years ago, a fantastic little horror movie. But look, this movie's been a real surprise success. It's obviously based on The Invisible Man. I think he's a classic sort of monster villain. I don't know if this is linked to Universal, incidentally. I thought it was, but I may be wrong.
No.
But the movie has been a real surprise success in terms of critical response and audience approval. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, 89% from the audience.
Yeah.
It's making decent money as well. It's got a very small budget, $7 million, and it's projected to have opened to an opening weekend gross of $26 million, so it's already made its money back.
It's done okay,
big time. And he's been rewarded with a TV deal now. I can't sit here and say I know much about this guy. He did work on Insidious 3. I stopped watching Insidious after the first one. It just got ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like that goddamn Annabelle franchise. Shit. Boring. Jump scares with sounds and whatnot. Not for me. Upgrade, I actually did like though. Different take. This guy having a sort of implant and it controlling him. He was a sort of paraplegic and it took over and did things, and it was a cool little movie. He's a decent director. What do you make of this, Stephen? Do you think this is good? Because Blumhouse are just the absolute kings of taking a small budget horror movie and making mega bucks out of it. They have some shite ones, they have some magnificent ones.
No.
This guy has captured lightning in a bottle, and this looks like a good move for them.
Blumhouse's sort of model works for them. And you're right, I don't think they concern themselves too much with the ones that flop, because when ones do succeed, it exceeds the sort of budget of the film's production anyway. So they're on a win-win situation, and they will try things, they will experiment in things, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I don't think they get hung up about it too much. This is how they've made their name. That's how we know who they are. And The Invisible Man is certainly, a story that's right down their street. I think it's, we're going to try and attempt to see this, John, this week, if we've got time, so we can probably do the review on Friday. But The Invisible Man, I think it is time we had this story again. It's been 20 years since the Kevin Bacon one, which was I really enjoyed that. I went to the cinema to see that with my dad back in the day. Elizabeth Shue's in that as well. And
that was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
It was fantastic, and it was the only other one that I saw at the time was the Memoirs of the Invisible Man, the Chevy Chase, which was more of a spoofy sort of detective comedic style film, so when I saw the one with Kevin Bacon, I was quite shocked in how graphic it was, how dark it was as well. That's why I'm looking forward to this one. All the feedback on this one has come back very positive.
Surprising
from movie critics, John. Yeah, very surprising. Yeah,
because it had the potential to be an absolute shit show.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, I think most people know the story of the Invisible Man, but I'm very intrigued to see how dark this one goes. The fact that Blumhouse ears have pricked up on this as well says a lot as well. So I think it would be a good combination. I think having I don't know too much about Leigh Whannell either as a director. Obviously you've mentioned their involvement Insidious and Upgrade, John, but
apparently co-created or wrote the script for Saw with James Wan as well, so he's worked in this genre and
for a long time then,
and they says that the guy, the main man from Blumhouse, says in a statement also announcing this deal that he has the ability to fundamentally change the landscape in terms of genres and whatnot.
Definitely, yeah.
You can see that he's worked in some of the biggest sort of horror franchises in the last 10 years or so. So certainly it's very promising for this guy moving forward. I love horror movies. I love them being done differently.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see this one.
Yeah,
now it has been deemed a surprise success. Apparently it's slightly different to the Hollow Man one that obviously Kevin Bacon was in, where that was shot from his perspective.
Yeah, I forgot that was the name of it. Was in my head it was called The Invisible Man as well.
Yeah.
But it was actually, it was obviously the essence of the story of the Invisible Man in there. But yeah, Hollow Man was great.
Yeah, it was shot from Kevin Bacon's perspective though, if I remember correctly. It has been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
This one apparently is shot from the victim. I think it's like a wife. He's an abusive husband and he's stalking the wife out, making her life a misery.
In that as well. I'm pretty sure he was in it as well.
The Hollow Man.
Yeah,
I've actually got it up just now, Stephen.
Yeah.
I'll have a little look and see. I maybe I can't find any information on it. No, I can't see Josh. Surely it would have been top billing.
Yeah,
surely to God, Josh Brolin, not Bowen. I say Brosnan, I say Bowen, Mark Bowen. Yeah, no T-Rex involved, sadly. He is long gone. He died in a mini crash, incidentally. We love our minis on here. We've had many. But yeah, Stephen, I'm excited for this. I'm really excited to see what Blumhouse can do with this guy. I know he's probably worked with him before. I can't lie, I've not watched the likes of Saw. Not that kind of horror fan. I like the psychological ones.
Yeah, I'm not into
siege
the
horror
torture
type
thing.
Yeah,
I'm not into that kind of thing.
Does nothing for me. But look, he does absolutely praise them to the hilt. He says that they are famous for being a nurturing place that's willing to take risks on people. So they're almost like the Netflix of a traditional movie studio type thing, where they will give new faces and different people with different strokes a chance, if you like. Terrible terminology, I don't know. But look, I ain't got much more to add to that one, Stephen. It's an interesting little one. I can't wait to see the movie. I'll maybe be able to embellish further on whether he deserves a deal once I've actually watched it or not. But I have seen Upgrade and that was fantastic. But look, I digress. Move on swiftly to the next topics involving Simon Pegg, a guy we both love very dearly. This is coming from Cinema Blend, and he has revealed that it doesn't look like we will be getting more Star Trek movies in the coming future. Now, I'm trying to find the exact quote. He says, "The fact is, Star Trek movies don't make Marvel money. They make maybe 500 million at most." Oh, that's a shame. That's terrible money, isn't it? $500 million.
Yeah.
Crap. And to make one now, on the scale they've set themselves, is $200 million. You'd have to make 3 times that to make a profit. Well, I kind of agree with him, Stephen. Sadly, that's just the nature of today's industry.
Yeah.
You have Marvel movies, then you have every other movie. They make $1 billion, even
Star Wars as well,
minor ones. Yeah, Star Wars as well to an extent, but it's going down at an alarming rate. I mean, it's just cracking $1 billion. Movies like Ant-Man are getting close to $1 billion, and they are minor players.
Yeah.
So they just seem to have a monopoly on today's industry financially. They know how to churn out success.
Yeah.
I think it was Harrison Ford was paying homage about Indiana Jones, how he wouldn't do it unless they could try and replicate the sort of Marvel formula. I do understand what you're saying, but I find that kind of a sad as well, because I've really actually enjoyed this new Star Trek reboot with the likes of Zachary Quinto and Chris Pine. I think it's Zoe Saldana, Carol Urban, obviously Simon Pegg. Really interesting.
The late Anton Yelchin.
Anton Yelchin, yeah. So they had a really good young. I've got the guy who plays the Zulu as well. He's completely left my mind. Yeah. He's a great actor as well. He didn't even completely left me. That's shocking. He did the Oscar nomination thing, but it doesn't matter. Really cool cast. It seems to have captured the spirit of the original actors and whatnot. We were speaking about Back to the Future. Here's an example of a reboot which is maybe wound up some of the hardcore Trekkies, but managed to capture the essence on a core level and give us some new licks of paint and do something with it. So it's a shame we're not getting maybe a new one, because I really liked that last one as well, Star Trek Into Darkness.
But
that was like a traditional Star Trek.
Not everyone did, John.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
Sadly.
You know, I think a lot of the J.J. Abrams sort of fan base, maybe the film fell victim there because he wasn't involved in the, the last one. It was Simon Pegg and I can't remember the other guy's name. He's very close friends with him actually. Can't remember.
Nick Frost.
No, the writer and who wrote the last Star Trek. I can't remember his name, but I was actually watching Simon Pegg's. He was on doing his most famous roles. It was a series on YouTube. I can't remember.
Variety or something. Yeah.
And he was actually talking about this chap,
Alex Kurtzman, Roberto Walsh.
I can't remember, John. Honestly, can't remember. But he was talking about the enjoyment he had, and obviously the writing process. Anyone that knows Simon Pegg's history knows that he's a big and massive fan of both Star Trek and Star Wars.
John Cho.
That's the one. And I think you need someone like him to get the characters. You need someone who's very invested in the franchise and someone that's got the talents of Simon Pegg. And I thought he was a good choice to obviously co-write the third film. Mm-hmm. The problem with the third film was that J.J. Abrams had stepped away to go back to doing Star Wars. Those first two films were, I don't know if I'm overstating it here, I thought they were outstanding.
Yeah, they were really Star
good.
Trek
film. I've always said this, John. I've never been a big Star Trek fan. I wasn't really a fan of the original series or the Next Generation. Saw the odd episode, enjoyed it to a level, but was never committed to it. Same with the feature films as well. I'd catch one or two, never in order because I wasn't that concerned. But there was something about these films, from my point of view, that gave it a new
breath of fresh air.
A new lease of life. And I was trying to combine both of them as I held back till you said it, John. But there was something about those two films. I think there was nothing wrong with the third film. It was a good film, but I think it just didn't live up. I think you're right. I think it was more classic Star Trek than the J.J. Abrams ones, ironically. And for some reason, it just didn't connect well with a lot of people. But I think that's possibly because of the new fans coming on board. The J.J. Abrams fans, if you like,
pissed them off and then pissed off the original. So no one was happy.
Exactly.
Stephen, it was a colourful film though. I really enjoyed these new takes on Klingons and whatnot.
Yeah.
I actually did. I really enjoyed the original Star Trek. I binge watched it. It's just something about those old styles, having to utilise sets and storytelling, because you didn't have the effects back then. Didn't mind the original movies as well. It's obviously Search for Spock, Voyage Home and Wrath of Khan, things like that. I think it was the original, can't recall, the original motion picture.
One as well, then Generations.
Generations, that was your man from, Clockwork Orange, he was in that. He was the villain. I'm pretty sure he was, but
Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell, he was in that. He was really good in that. So I really enjoyed the original, but I actually enjoyed this as well. I just liked the youthful energy we got from these new actors coming in, playing the role. Chris Pine looked like James Tiberius Kirk. He looked like William Shatner. Zachary Quinto was a double of Leonard Nimoy. Yeah. And then obviously...
He also had Leonard Nimoy in there as well.
Yeah, Leonard Nimoy, he was in there. So sadly, before he passed away, not sadly, I was glad he was in there, but sadly he passed away. So at least he got a final hurrah. But all in all, it's a shame we're not going to get more of these movies, because they're just priced out of the market now. It's not really financially viable to make these movies anymore in the world, with big Marvel movies cleaning up shop. Maybe Marty had a point. Martin Scorsese, that is, I know him, you know, Marty. But like, Stephen, I've not got much more to add.
No.
We were going to do a Star Wars topic. I don't know if you want to just fire in, give a quick thought on this before we move on to box office. Essentially, they're saying Star Wars, there's still a movie set in the Disney upcoming slate for 2022. Just keep it to a single sentence answer. Do you think this is going to happen? I don't think it's going to happen.
Give you one word if you want.
Yeah.
No,
it's not. That's it. Short and sweet, done. It's not going to happen. We'll not get a director in place. Bob Iger.
Unless it's the biggest kept secret ever, John.
Unless it's that Old Republic adaptation of the game, and it's the woman who produced and wrote Avatar who came in to do it. Maybe they have that working under the surface.
2 years
I don't know.
from now.
2 years seems unlikely. I don't think it's happening. I think it's pie in the sky. There's a lot of pie in the sky just now. Wait till you see Heroes, which we are also recording today, incidentally. Talk about pie in the sky, man. Woof. But look, let's move on, Stephen, to box office. We're done with the news.
Yes.
Part of the show today. This is for the weekend of February 21st to 23rd, 2020. A lot of 20s in there. We are a week behind.
Plenty, yeah.
20s plenty, yep. In a Scouse accent. What's coming in at number 1 this week, Stephen?
Number 1, John, is Sonic the Hedgehog. In its second week, it's grossed $5.4 million over the weekend. $19 million overall.
Yes, $19 million. That's about £15 million, I would say, in my terrible currency converter brain.
Yeah.
$265.5 million worldwide. That is a monumental success. I have to say, $85 million budget. Surprise success. One of the most, if not the most successful video game adaptations now. And look, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed James Marsden. I enjoyed Jim Carrey. I enjoyed the voiceover work from the other guy, Ben Schwartz, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, really enjoyed it. I'm glad to see it's making money.
So am I, John, because I think it's it took everyone by surprise just because of that first trailer reaction. Everyone hated the look. Director went
Ben
back.
Schwartz, wow.
Yeah, well done. You named the director?
Yeah, no.
Well, he went back
Don't
anyway, and he listened to the backlash and corrected that. Slight delay in the film, John, but I think it's worked out well for the film. I've got not much more to say. We obviously did the review on this, so I said everything I had to say. But we'll move on to number 2. It's Dolittle in its third week. $2.6 million over the weekend. $18.2 million overall.
Incredible, Stephen, that this has grossed nearly $18.2 million. It's just wow. This movie is supposed to be a disaster.
Yeah, heavily
reshot, massively over budget, $175 million budget. It's made $217.4 million worldwide. Look, I hope it makes money because, as I says, I like Robert Downey Jr. His wife's involved, I believe. I can't recall her name, but she is part of the production company. She runs his production company, or their production company. Sorry, all those SJWs out there who may be offended. I don't really pander to snowflakes, so it doesn't really matter. Hope it makes money because I love the guy, but it's not going to. Sadly,
no. I think it's I think it's the UK's love for Robert Downey Jr. John. It's really, he's got a terrific fan base over here, and rightly so. But we'll move on anyway to number 3 this week in the box office. It's Parasite. Most tempted to say the actual Korean name there. Yeah, I think that's actually a good attempt, John, there. In its third week.
Not even seen it.
$2.2 million over the weekend. $10.9 million overall.
Yes. This movie has made nearly $8 million less than Dolittle in the same number of weeks. Yeah. What is wrong with people? Seriously, what is wrong?
I have to read. That's the problem.
$227 million overall worldwide. Haven't got budget information, but surely it's made money for Bong Joon-ho and everyone involved. I hope it has. Tremendous movie. One of the best movies I've seen in years.
Yeah.
We spoke hind legs off it though.
I think the effect of this film, like most films, round about the turn of the year, 2019 that is, here in the UK, was delayed by 2 or 3 months. It would not surprise me if the majority of people saw this on some dodgy download or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
We're the last country in the world to get it, Stephen, so it's possible.
It could have an effect on it, and maybe that's something that the UK and obviously distributors over in the US and wherever, South Korea or whatever, would have to look at, because if it's going to have an effect on the box office here in the UK, then it's perhaps something, or maybe they don't care, because we're only a little island at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Only the second, what is it, in the Western?
Second biggest movie market, yeah. Stephen, I recall us speaking about some company doing a podcast, and one of the guys openly admitted that he'd pirated it before going to watch it
Yeah.
in the actual theatre when it came out in the States, so you may have a point there.
Yeah.
But look, what's coming out at number 4, Stephen?
4 this week, John, and its first week's another film I want to see, just because it's got Harrison Ford in it, not because of the cartoon dog. It is The Call of the Wild.
What's Tom Cruise doing?
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. It's 1.9 million over the weekend, and of course overall
79
Shaggy.
Yes. Oh, Shaggy. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Root one, Raggy. Right, okay, enough of that.
$79.2 million worldwide, $135 million budget.
Zoinks.
Wow. $135 million. I wonder how much of that went to Harrison Ford's wage and how much went to the CGI dog. By all accounts, Stephen, the dog was necessary. It had to be CG because the story really made that a necessity, because the dog's doing things that would put a real dog in danger, so they had to do it. I actually liked the trailer. I didn't think it looked that terrible, and I probably will go and watch it just because I love Harrison Ford. Love him, man.
Yeah, same as myself, John. But we'll move on to number 5 this week. It's Emma, with a full stop at the end of it.
What,
Don't
we not get
understand why it's...
1917?
No, it's at number 5 this week,
Is
John.
it?
Yeah, February 21st, 23rd. Yeah.
I hope I'm in the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in its second week. Listen, doesn't really matter anyway. In its second week, John, 1.5 million over the weekend, 5.9 million overall.
Yes, I don't know how much this one's made worldwide. I'd presume very little. $12.9 million overall. That's intriguing for a movie I've never heard of. So yeah, hats off to them.
Yeah, number 5 or 6 this week. It's 1917, and its 7th week. It's grossed 1.4 million over the weekend.
It can be cut if it's wrong. Don't
53
worry.
Well, it's IMDb's fault if it is wrong, John, not mine. 53.9 million overall.
Yes, that's very impressive, Steve. Yeah, it does. 53 point something million. Yeah, that makes sense. $362.3 or $4 million worldwide. Monumental success for Sam Mendes, George Mackay, Dean Charles Chapman, Mark Strong, the lot. Well done. I really enjoyed it. Fantastic movie. I love World War movies, so I was in my element watching this. Yeah. Glad it's made money.
Yep.
Well done.
It's a bit of a pause there, but we did obviously the review on this, John. Thoroughly enjoyed the film, but check out the review if you want to see what we think about it.
Yes.
Harley Quinn Birds of Prey, I think that's what it's called now. It's in its 3rd week, and it has grossed $1 million over the weekend.
That's very exact.
10, yeah, I know.
1 million exactly, not a penny more or less. Wow.
10 million exact overall, which is very poor, John. This film came in at 7, I think. Those two films have really thrown me out. Emma in 1917, I think we're at number 7, but it's in its 3rd week, John. Performance-wise, very disappointing, isn't it?
It is. Stephen, they're not cooking the books at all. No. $10 million exactly to the penny. Wow.
Don't believe
it. Wow, DC. You can't even cook the books right. No. $188.4 million worldwide. $84.5 million budget. It ain't making a profit. Sorry, Margot, and everyone else involved. What can I say? This is what happens when you try and force the issues of a movie onto a male demographic and they don't come out and watch it.
No.
And then
someone
you try
made a good point
mother.
about Harley Quinn, John, and I don't know if you agree with it or not. You know, as much as I like the character and as much as I like Margot Robbie's performance as the character, she is a secondary character to a secondary character. You know, Batman, the
true.
Joker, Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think the character's got the length of service, you know, for the avid comic book fans. She will have a cult following. As I said, you know, casual moviegoers, like I would deem myself in this case for the comic book genre. I am a casual viewer because I don't read the comic books.
Yeah.
But I did like the character. I did like her in the Suicide Squad, and I do like Margot Robbie, you know.
I like the look of her in this new Suicide Squad movie. She's looking like the original.
Yeah.
Well, I think she's changed to the red and black outfit, so
yeah.
Look, you're right, Stephen, she's more suited to a supporting role, an intriguing, bombastic, out there supporting role.
Yeah.
But it's almost like making a Pepper Potts movie with the ensemble of the other side female characters and expecting people to go out and watch it.
They were thinking about that, but
Pepper
listen,
Potts,
we'll move on swiftly to number 8 this week. It's Like a Boss in its first week. It's grossed £700,000 over the weekend, and of course overall.
Don't know what this movie is, Stephen. Never even heard of it. Like a Boss sounds like a terrible Madonna movie. Song. 27.9 million worldwide. I have to get my glasses on. $29 million budget. It's just shy of earning back its basic budget.
Yeah.
Don't know anything about it. It's a decent start. I mean, it's broke into the top 10 of the United Kingdom, so well done.
Yeah. Number 9 this week, John, it's Brahms, The Boy 2.
The Boy
in its first week, it's grossed £700,000 overall.
Stephen, I think this is a horror franchise. It's some shitey little porcelain doll thing that's possessed with a demon.
Right.
I mean, we've had Annabelle. I mean,
I was going to say, we've not done that before, yeah.
Yeah, we've not learnt your lessons. It's the well is long dry. It's Sahara levels dry. Step away from it. Don't do it again. But no, they keep trying to regurgitate these terrible horror movies. By all accounts, it's shite. $16.1 million overall. $10 million budget. It'll probably make a profit because some gonk out there will go and watch it. But not me.
Yeah, well, it's grossed 700,000, so there's a few more gonks in there, John. But number 10 this week's Bad Boys for Life, in its 6th week, it's grossed £600,000 over the weekend. 19.8 million overall.
It's not bad. It's a not bad performance, Stephen, for a sequel for a franchise which has been away for a long time, so that's not too bad. They don't need the UK performance anyway. $90 million budget, $405 million worldwide. Huge success for Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, or Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. Let's get the order right. Will Smith is the bigger name. I haven't seen it. I'll watch it
Martin
when it comes.
Lawrence is a bigger man.
Yeah, he's a bigger not in height, out the way maybe. But look, I'll watch it when it comes out in home release. I'm sure it's a very funny movie, and I'm sure those two guys have hit it out the park. I've never seen a Bad Boys movie in the cinema, so I'm not going to start now in the third one. But there's a fourth one coming out, so if it is good, I'll probably go and watch that. But look, I ain't got much more to add to it. That's going to round up the box office unless Stephen has something to add. What did you guys make about the array of topics we spoke about today? What is your thoughts on this whole Back to the Future nonsense? Do you think we should get a remake starring Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr.? What do you make about the Invisible Man director getting a new deal with Blumhouse? If you get anything to say about the Star Trek, Star Wars topics, if you have anything to say at all, you can comment below and let us know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, and you can subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And if you do, then you'll see us again tomorrow for MBE Heroes.